Welcome back to SportsZone. I'm joined by Maria Gonzalez and Jadon Crumpton. And guys, we're going to talk some hockey today, but before we get into the Dallas Stars and the NHL, I do want to mention the cinema we saw on Sunday. USA men's team won against Canada in the gold medal match, 2-1 in overtime, exactly like the women's. It was incredible. Jadon, just take me through that game real quick.
Man, it was great. First off, to have both your teams win gold is an amazing accomplishment. It feels so good to really be able to say we're the best team, we're the best country in the world at hockey and rage bait a bunch of Canadians.
Oh,
it's awesome. And the game itself was great. I mean, kind of like the women's game, we got down and then came back and got it. Connor Hellebuck, I want to shout out. He was amazing all tournament. He had one of the best saves I've seen in hockey in a long time in that game, completely save us. He led the tournament in save percentage, I believe. And then the golden goal, of course, it's storybook. It's what you want, brothers out on there. It was amazing. Like you said, cinema is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, it was incredible. And as you said, Connor Hellebuck, I think maybe the unsung hero of this, just incredible. Because Canada, I want to be clear, they're an incredible team and they played a great game. But Hellebuck just making clutch save after clutch save. Maria, what did you see from Team USA?
Oh, again, I just want to shout out to Hellebuck again because he was just the star of that game. I think without Hellebuck, we could the U.S. couldn't have made it in the game and couldn't have gotten that medal. Oh, Jack Hughes scored the golden goal right there, right there on overtime, and we can see he lost a tooth in the game. So it was all worth it in the end, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. Both of the Tkachuk brothers incredible. The Hughes brothers incredible. I mean, this was amazing. Even without a tooth, it's all right that he got the gold. So it was just incredible what this team did. He talked about it, just the chemistry, the brotherhood of this Team USA team, both the men's and women's, absolutely incredible. So just huge shout out to them, forever gold medalists, and the men's for the first time since the Miracle on Ice in 1980. So truly incredible for them. But I do want to dive back into the NHL because we're back. The Stars played their first game last night against the Seattle Kraken, a big 4-1 win for them. And I mean, just like that, we're back. It was kind of a interesting one, Olympic players, NHL players finally back in the Olympics. And it's exciting to see. But of course, for the NHL teams, it's kind of a quick turnaround. And unfortunately for the Stars, also had some injuries come with that. Jadon, how do you feel about the Stars and then kind of going into the back half of the season?
I feel pretty good. I think this is a great team. Last night, we looked amazing, even without Rantanen and Foxa. Wyatt Johnston scored his 28th power play goal of the season, yes. Franchise record. He's 22 years old. I think this is a great team. I don't know if we've seen the consistency enough to where I'm like, man, we're definitely going to be one of those top contenders this year. But I think we definitely can, and we definitely have the potential to be that. It just needs to be pulled together for a good stretch for me to really have confidence in this team.
Yeah, certainly. Big shout out to Wyatt Johnston. I mean, breaking that franchise record halfway through the season. He's 22. I can't say enough great things about him. He is truly the future of this team. But for the Stars this season, Maria, how do you feel about them kind of picking up, especially after the Rantanen injury?
Yeah, I think the Rantanen injury was really important because he was the most valuable player during this whole season, and getting him out, it's a major loss. He was the top line driver with the elite zones. He was a playmaking engine. But right now, we kind of recovered that. We were kind of rusty in that last game. We were kind of rusty at the start, but we managed to pick that up. The Stars managed to pick it up in the end to end with that 4-2-1. It didn't really show that Rantanen was missing this because we had such a cohesive team during that game. So we just got to keep it up.
Cohesion's a great way to say it. The Stars team, I've always said, is just such a deep team. As we watch through these highlights, you'll see just so many different players stepping up. I think this is a team that Mikko Rantanen is your superstar, yes, but you just have so many players, and Jason Robertson, Miro Heiskanen. I mean, just the list goes on and on. Thomas Harley, if we're talking about defensemen, they just find a way to get it done. We talked about Wyatt Johnston, and I just feel like it's going to be important. It's going to be difficult with Mikko Rantanen. Just to be clear, it was a lower body injury for him. He suffered it during the Olympics. Unfortunately, the NHL is not super transparent in terms of injury and timelines like that. So for now, all we know is he's going to be out the next couple weeks. We'll see about a future timetable for him. But how impactful, Jadon, do you think that loss is, and how can they kind of bounce back and maybe have some other guys step up?
Well, I'm going to go back to the only point of reference we have, which is last night.
Yes.
I think we're going to be okay. I mean, the middle six is creating a ton of chances, even without Rantanen, who usually is that big playmaking engine. like Maria said, I think the Stars team, like you said, having a guy like Rantanen go down really puts your depth for all eyes to see. Like, do we have a team that's deep enough to withstand this? Because that's, it's inevitable in hockey. You're going to have one of your big guys go down at some point. And it looks like we do. It looks like we passed the test, at least early on, against a great team in the Krakens. A 4-1 win. Like she said, you couldn't even really notice that Rantanen is gone. We look completely cohesive. Great way to put it.
Yeah, definitely. And a couple more injury notes for the Stars. Radek Faksa also was a bit banged up in the Olympics. It looks like he'll be back. It doesn't seem like too significant of an injury for him. And then activated off of IR was Liam Bichsel, a player, a defenseman for the Stars. He was really incredible last season, his rookie year. Made some big-time plays, sort of on the lower lines of the defensemen during the playoffs. So Liam Bichsel, I think, is just really going to be an impactful piece getting back. Maria, how important is it to have him back for the defensive group?
I think it's great to have him back for the defense because the Stars had to improve their defense a lot throughout this season. We saw them struggling in certain games, like with the Blues. That Blues game was really tough, but we managed to win it. So we have to work on that defense, and having a key defenseman back, it's just really important right now because the defense is it's a thing the Stars have to work on the most lately.
Bichsel is a guy that can really bring some big-time physicality, obviously a big body, and I think that's just going to be important for him, standing at 6'7", just kind of bringing that momentum back for the defense and really just building off of what they have. But for the Stars as a whole, it's a big-time win for them. They improved to 35, 14, and 9 on the season, third in the Central Division. And, I mean, you see that record, and it's like, that's pretty good, but only third in the Central just because you have some pretty intense competition. You talked about it, Jadon, just kind of trying to be consistent. I'll ask you, Maria, do you think that this team can compete in that Central Division and get back up there?
I really think we can compete in that Central Division. We do have to, again, as I said, we have to work on that transition defense and that special teams consistency. But right now we're looking like a really reliable team. We have that really good forward depth. We have that improved puck moving, and we're really reliable with that goalie. So I really think we can be a really good contender, but we haven't really put together that dominant stretch yet. So I do have hopes for the Stars this season.
Yeah, you mentioned the goalies, and I want to talk a little bit more about that. Big shout out to Jake Ottinger, obviously. Being the backup goalie on that Team USA team, gets the gold medal, so big time for him. But it was actually Casey DeSmith in net last night. And Casey DeSmith, the backup goalie, if you guys don't know, has been very good this season. He's really put together some solid performances and really being that depth option for Jake Ottinger. Because Jake's incredible, guys. I want to be clear. But I think that over a long season, that wear and tear does make an impact. So having a backup like DeSmith, I think is really important. Jadon, how are you feeling about this tandem of goalies going into the second half of the season?
Yeah, I love it. It's like baseball. Your catcher's not going to start behind the dish 162 games out of the year. It's just unrealistic, right? It's a very physical position, just like catchers in baseball. And so to have a good number two that could come in and he's obviously not Jake Ottinger, but you barely miss that starting guy. You're going to be in good hands when you have to bring in the B squad. It's a great thing to have, and once again, we go back to it. It speaks to the depth of this team.
Definitely, and I think one more person I want to give some credit to is Glenn Goldson. In the first year as head coach of this team, there were a lot of question marks trying to take over from Pete DeBoer, a guy who made it to 3 straight Western Conference championships. Definitely a lot to live up for, but I'll ask you, Maria, what have you seen from Coach Goldson so far, and how do you think he can carry this team into the second half and eventually the playoffs?
Yeah, he has done a great work so far with this team, especially in that power play where he's done with great, especially with against Edmonton. We also saw Wyatt Johnston be incredible in power play for the Stars this year, being such a younger player and continuing to break forward. We love that, and I love what I've seen from Galison this year. I think he's done a great job with the Stars lately.
He's been impressive, and this Stars team, Jadon, you told me earlier that you said you wanted them to just be a little more consistent and kind of put that maybe next piece over the top. So I want to ask you, with the NHL trade deadline coming up next Friday, this is something we'll talk about next week as we'll have the preview basically right before. We should see some moves happening. But are there any moves you'd like to see Dallas go out and make? Maybe make one or two more additions to kind of put this team over the top?
Yeah, so, I mean, typically we're a team that's pretty active at the trade deadline, and I would like to see us make some moves. I think Justin Falk has been shopped around a lot. That would be a great person to add to our defense. Like Maria was saying, our transition defense has kind of been an area of concern this season, so I think going out and getting Justin Falk would be great. And then Blake Coleman over from the Flames, have another great attacker on this team, just kind of make a murderer's row up front. I would love to see that. I think those are two good acquisitions we can get. And I would expect us to make a move. Like I said, we're usually pretty active at the deadline.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Blake Coleman's name has been thrown around quite a lot. He has some family here, so hey, might have to manifest that one. But we're going to move over and talk about some MLB spring training coming up next.